What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. It's the Wager Alarm live stream Saturday night. Means I'm Howard Bender and Craig Mish and I are going to put together our picks for the Westgate Super Contest. Craig, been a tumultuous day actually with the
Yes.
news of Cam Newton testing positive. How's the betting world reacting to Chiefs Pats coming off the board?
Yeah, I think that everyone's a little bit more cautious this year regardless, so I don't know that it'll affect a lot of people unless they had previously placed wagers with teasers, maybe some Saturday, Sunday combinations. And those at this point are probably out. I can't imagine them playing the game on Tuesday or Monday or whenever it is, but I think that's probably, the biggest ramification from that. And some other ramifications that are now going to factor in. And I think you have to start wondering about like the Titans win total for the season. Will they get to 16 games? I think it's a real possibility that we're just not sure. And sort of how the games go moving forward. And I think it'll be fine. And I think that the season will play out. But I just think that it was very foolish for anyone to think that it was very easy just to blame Major League Baseball for all the issues that they had and think that the NFL wouldn't have theirs because look, simply put, to me, this sort of feels like the message was probably heard very early on when they got to training camp and bubbled up and did all that, and it feels exactly like baseball. A couple weeks in, guys start getting comfortable and start feeling like they can go to Chipotle or go to Starbucks and maybe I could walk in, maybe I could sit down and nothing egregious, but you can't. If you're in the NFL, you can't. If you're in Major League Baseball, you can't. And all it takes is one person to, sort of screw that up. And not even really a screw up, but it's just, I just can't believe that people didn't see this coming. And I am not the guy that says I told you. Like that, I am the last one to say that. But I have to say in this instance, I feel like Major League Baseball took a lot of heat for what happened to both Miami and St. Louis. And even with them having that, Howard, and the NFL knowing what happened, this still happened. So the virus just has no friends, Like it's going to take you out if you don't wear a mask and if you're not careful. And I think the Westgate is the one. The interesting one is the SuperContest, Howard, because if you put in a pick on the Jets and Broncos on Thursday night, you had to have all your picks in. So I'm sure that there are some people that picked that game between the Chiefs and Patriots, and if they don't play Tuesday night, I'm not really sure. I guess it'll be by overall win percentage regardless of that, but that is the danger sort of picking games early in the week.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny. You and I talked about this right from the start of the Westgate, talking about the fact that neither one of us wanted to take a Thursday night game for this specific reason. I mean, look at the board right now. I mean, imagine getting those two, that pick in early and having to do it on that, for the Thursday deadline, and to see games come off the board. I mean, it just so happens that it's only one game. We knew about Steelers Titans beforehand, but imagine if it was more than one game coming off the board like that. So,
yeah, and you know what? Honestly, think of and look, if you didn't, and for people who have watched us now for the past few years, wins and losses irrelevant to the conversation because everybody knows that it's very difficult to pick games regardless of that. But from a content standpoint, Howard and I made the conscious decision of not doing this live stream on Friday night for the exact reason that you saw play out today. For the exact reason today, where we knew that on a Saturday, guys were going to get on planes. And they were not going to allow players who test positive to get on planes and teams to get on planes. And so we could have done this every Friday night for you guys. But by the time that you would have went and watched it Saturday, you'd be watching irrelevant video only like 12 hours later. So that's why we're here on Saturday nights for you guys. And we're going to keep doing it on Saturday night. It hurts me to not have college football and not be able to talk about that this year. But we're not in any contests this year in college, and we have a lot of money in the SuperContest. So I guess with that, let's kick off this week. It's a tough week, I think. I had a hard time grasping around some of the picks this week. And maybe it's just a matter of there's just two huge lines, and so once you sort of get past those, and just really in the world of wagering, it's never advisable to lay a lot of points like that. And I know it's really hard to stomach taking two very big underdogs like that, but that is in general the way it's going to go. more often than not, teams that are getting more than 10 points in the NFL are going to cover, and it's going to be well above 50%. So you are always better off taking those points. Anything can happen in one given day. One guy gets hurt, changes the entire game. We don't have an opinion or a pick, on both of them, but certainly you can make the case that they do look a little tasty here on the favorite side.
Yeah, they definitely do. All right, I'll start us off at the top of the ticket here. First game that we're taking, we're actually going with a favorite to start. The Colts over the Bears. It's a 2.5-point spread. It's in Chicago. I think everybody is all in on Nick Foles, and I think that's one of the things that everybody thinks that he's suddenly going to rescue the Bears in this one here, and that's why I kind of feel like the line is, as low as it is right now, and I think a lot of people are leaning towards taking the Bears. I actually haven't looked at what the current line is as of right this second.
I'll check right now.
I think it might be 3 at this point. I think I saw maybe it went to 3, but nevertheless, there's a reason that Nick Foles is strictly a backup. It's a 3 right now. Mm-hmm. There's a reason that Nick Foles is strictly a backup, right? And I just don't see him suddenly flipping the Bears completely around. Yes, they're 3-0. It's a really weak 3-0.
It is, yeah.
I feel like the defense of the Indianapolis Colts. You asked me a long time ago, who are the good defenses? This is one of the good defenses. They showed it last week. They're going to do it again.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The other thing, too, is that when you were placing bets, remember, we're going off the SuperContest lines from Wednesday, and they lock on Wednesday. So regardless of what the line is now, you get that line, even though we're placing our picks in tonight. And so more often than not, I think that what we have learned, and really what you guys should learn, too, is that whenever you're getting value in a pick for whatever the current line is, you're going to also win more often than not by grasping that value. And in this case, if the Colts beat the Bears by 3 tomorrow, anybody who bets the game now pushes and will win our pick. So for me, it's not so much about loving the game as it is about the value of it. And I think that you are right. The Bears, when was the last time a team was 3-0 at home and was a dog going into the week? Right. And I think that sort of tells you something. There will be a lot of people taking the Bears. What is home field advantage this season? Is it that big a deal? Yeah, I mean, maybe when you're getting 6 or 7 points, like the other team we're going to talk about, but is 3 really a big number? 2.5? I mean, bottom line is if the Colts are a better team, they're going to win this game. We both feel that way.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, second game, we're going with a home dog, taking the Lions, going up against the Saints, and we're getting 4 in the Westgate. The line right now is 3.
Yeah, this is a big crash on this line.
All of the news broke about this, the New Orleans defense. Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins, Marcus Davenport, they're all out right now. There's not a whole lot of faith in their offense because Michael Thomas isn't playing either. And listen, with all of those holes on defense, this is a big comeback here for your Lions. You wanted to talk about the Lions, on their win total. You were in on them. They don't have to win this one, but I definitely think that they keep it close.
Yeah, and you think about how everything changed just in a matter of a week, and think about, again, the Lions this year. The first game, look, they didn't deserve to win game 2, but the first game of the season, they clearly deserved to win again, right? A couple different times. They were up big, and then Swift dropped the ball in the end. And then they beat Arizona in week 2 in Arizona, right? I mean, the Lions could be 2-1. If they would have won this, they'd be 3-1. And it tells me maybe I was right. maybe. And again, for them to get to 8 wins, they only have to go to 8-8, right? As far as my math is right here, they only have to win 7 games the rest of the season. So I think if the Saints lose, you really got to hit the panic button on them. I think that's for sure after this one. But yeah, we're going to take the points. You're absolutely right. They don't have to win the game. All they have to do is cover the spread. So I think that's going to be real important in this one. And we're getting 4 fat points in this one at home with the line being 3. So we're getting a point extra of value. We're taking Detroit plus the points.
All right, game 3 that we're choosing here. We're actually taking the Vikings, getting 4.5, going up against the Houston Texans. Listen, this is, all signs are pointing towards a big comeback, coming out party for the Texans. They finally get a soft defense they get to take care of. after the Chiefs and the Ravens and then the Steelers. And so, a lot of people are all in on the Texans. But you know what? In all honesty, they haven't looked that good. They don't look that strong. Yeah, those are good defenses they took care of. But you know what? I'm looking at 4.5 here points for the Vikings, and right now, this is now at 3.5. I gotta tell you, I kind of, as long as Minnesota tries to slow the game down as much as possible, utilizing Dalvin Cook, which is what they do. I think our 4.5 is a nice pickup here.
Yeah, our first 4 picks, our lines are better in the SuperContest than what they are now, and usually that means we're going to at least be 3-2 or 4-1 in the SuperContest this week. So I feel good about that. I think the Texans may win this game, very close game. I think that this is the kind of game where both teams are scared of looking in the mirror and seeing what they are. and I love a team at the end of a game like Cleveland last week that can run the ball at the end of the game. I'm always scared of that team, and Detroit is a great example of that. They have a lead, but they can't run. So they end up throwing on first. They end up throwing on second. They punt. Next time they get the ball, they run up the middle for a yard. They punt, and the Vikings can run. So if they have a lead late in this one, they don't have to give the ball back to Houston, and Houston can't stop the run, just like Pittsburgh ran all over them last week. So I could see a really good effort from Houston coming back this week and maybe a heartbreaking loss for Minnesota in some way. But this is just too many points. 4.5 points giving Minnesota. I was not impressed at all with the Texans last week. I thought their play calling was horrible. I thought that they just basically gave up in the second half. And I believe that this comes I think 2 minutes left in the game. It's going to be very close and a coin flip at the end. And I want those points in a game like that.
All right. Next game we're looking at another line that we're getting another advantage on here. We're taking the Dolphins, getting 6.5 against Seattle.
Hide your eyes.
Why? Come on, it's down to 5.5 now.
Like this one. I understand that a lot of people won't like this pick. That's for sure.
Because Russell Wilson looks like he's an MVP candidate right now, and he's playing unbelievably. But you know what? Their ground game is all banged up. Carson's hurt. Hyde's hurt. Travis Homer might get some work there. And we've just seen it before. Seattle could go out to a nice big fat lead. They can take a 21-point lead if they want in the first half. Their defense is not good. Ryan Fitzpatrick is just notorious for heavy throwing in the second half, bringing the team back. He's got weapons in Parker, Preston Williams, Gesicki. I've seen this before, and I've won money on this before. Ryan Fitzpatrick can get you the backdoor cover that you need. No matter how good you might think Seattle's offense is, remember how bad their defense is too.
Yeah, and look, there's certainly a chance Seattle wins this game, and they're the more talented team for sure. But defensively, I mean, Seattle could easily be 1-2 right now with the games that they've played. They could easily be 1-2 because of their defense. And by the way, Miami has been in every game as well. Is that true about every team in the NFL? Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, even the Jets have been in all their games. The games have really, more than ever, come down to the last 2 minutes almost every single week, outside of the games maybe the Chiefs have played in, except for the Chargers game. So,
or the Niners-Giants game last week.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. But look, Miami is definitely not horrible. They are not in that category of Carolina. I don't think they're in the category of Jacksonville. I don't think they're in the category of the Giants or the Jets. I think they're better than those teams. And right now the line is down to 5.5. So we're going to get 6.5 here in the SuperContest. Certainly getting home points is always important. We're really on a lot of dogs this week. And the trend has just been on the favorites now for 3 weeks. It is going to flip. I mean, this is not the way of the NFL, and it will flip. Maybe it'll be this week. We'll see. But we'll take more points this week with the Dolphins.
All right, our last game. This is where we go to the double-digit points. We're taking the Ravens on the road. I mean, I'm going to put that in air quotes because I mean they're going to DC. It's Baltimore to DC. I'm not concerned about the old road game here. Washington's just bad. I mean, You got Ron Rivera calling out Dwayne Haskins. Who are they going to put in beyond him? Kyle Allen. I don't even think Alex Smith is really ready for game shape. If you remember that injury that just destroyed his leg. I mean, destroyed it.
Yeah.
Ravens need a big bounce back here, Craig. They need a big
I
bounce
think
back.
they do. Yeah, and look, the line is 14, so that makes 5 picks in a row that we're getting value on. So you got to feel that we're going to have a winning record here, because usually when this goes like this, you're definitely doing the right thing by. I mean, we're picking up basically 6 or 7 points.
Yeah.
On the SuperContest, and that's rare. That's rare to get that many points, but the lines have moved a lot this week. I prefer, as crazy as it sounds. I prefer sometimes a road dog of this magnitude or a road favorite as opposed to a home favorite, because I think the line tells you a little something. It just tells you how bad Washington is. And then the other part of it, I've talked about this on your show. I've talked about this on my show as well. When Cleveland, first of all, did not deserve a cover against Washington. Washington gave it away. They played better than the score would indicate. But at the end of the game, Washington was down 10. With 3 minutes to play or 2 minutes to play, Howard, and they just kept handing the ball off and ran up the clock. And I got to tell you, if that is the game plan at the end of Washington games when they're not covering, give me the other side. Give me the other side. Because normally, even with 40 seconds left, it's like you're still trying to win, right? Like
right,
you slow it up a couple times and see what happens. They weren't even trying. So I predict a quarterback change in this game. I do think that will happen. That's only my slight fear here, because usually the backup gives a little bit of a boost. But it's Baltimore we are talking about, and I think the point that you made both earlier in the week and this week is a great one. This is a home game, There's no travel involved here. It's a 40-minute ride to the stadium. They're sleeping in their own beds. That is just huge for this, given the nature of all of the safety and everything else that's been going on, and home teams have been doing well. So we're going to lay 13 points. It is my 5th favorite of the 5. I hate laying this many points, but we already have two games knocked off the board. You got to be crazy to get involved in the Monday night game, not knowing if the 2 best weapons on Atlanta are there. If they're there, I like Atlanta, and if they're not, I like Green Bay. I mean, Atlanta has nothing they have no running game. They have no offensive line, but you put those 2 dudes on the outside, and they can keep it close. And now you're telling me you may have both, you may have neither? I can't bet that game. So there aren't really a lot of great choices this week. And so those are the best of the ones we went through.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to recap it, Colts laying 2.5, Lions getting 4, Vikings getting 4.5, Dolphins getting 6.5, Ravens laying the 13 points there. Did you have a 6th game in mind? I sort of did. I kept trying to push the Browns on you. You wouldn't go for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't bite. I watched Cleveland last week, and that's why I wouldn't bite. I could see Dallas annihilating Cleveland, and I could see Cleveland winning the game, and that to me is a bad sign. That's okay. A bad sign. I like the Raiders a little bit at home, getting points, but it's just not enough points for me in that game to just go to. If this was a game where the crowd was there.
Right.
And the other part of this, too, that we're going to have to monitor, it happened with New Orleans. And look, I'm not saying anything negative about football players or anything like this, but I could tell you this, Howard, when we come back here next year and everyone's able to go out again, how do you think the road teams are going to fare in Las Vegas?
Oh, horribly.
Next year. It's going to be horrible, right?
As bad as every baseball team traveling down to Miami, in season there.
The Raiders are going to be a great home team. People haven't been going out for a year, and then they're going to be playing in Las Vegas these games. You think they're not going down to the tables?
Dolphins, Raiders in the AFC Championship next year.
I don't think that factors in here, but it did cross my mind to wow, the Saints looked really unprepared for that game in Las Vegas the other night. And I wonder about Buffalo's preparation for this too. But again, if they're doing the right thing and not leaving the hotel rooms and all that, then I think they'll be fine there. Chiefs Patriots is off the board. And Steelers Titans is off the board, so we didn't have either of those two. I went back and forth a little on Bengals Jaguars. A part of me thought Jaguars, then I thought Bengals, and I'm like, I really don't have a good feel for that.
Yeah, I wasn't into that one either. I mean, I feel like the Bengals will win this game. Is it going to be more than a field goal? Probably not. I mean, they're pretty evenly matched teams right now. what was the other one that I was kind of eyeballing?
49ers, Eagles. We haven't got to
No,
that.
I wasn't looking at 49ers Eagles. You know what? I mean, it's kind of funny. Packers Falcons. I like the Packers in this one. That's you and I differed on that. You had asked me about the Falcons. I got to tell you, I think that the Falcons are about to go into the tank in this game. I think that they're dealing with a better pass defense in Green Bay. I think you're also dealing with a very dispirited team right now, and I think you're also dealing with a offensive coordinator who wouldn't mind being the head coach again. And I'm sorry,
that conspiracy there. Look, you look, all those things are
Dirk
right.
Cutter's done it before, though. He's done it before. We've seen it.
Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that if you told me Ridley and Julio Jones were not there, I would have no problem taking Green Bay. But I also see Atlanta losing 31-26, Like, I don't know. Atlanta keeps games close. They don't win them, but they're always in these close games. So that I think that's Carolina. I started the week thinking Carolina, yeah. Then as the week went on, I thought, maybe the Cardinals just got caught off guard last week. Hopkins or no Hopkins, Cardinals are better than Carolina. They are. Like, Carolina doesn't care. Carolina doesn't care if they win or lose. Like it's not their year to win. And so I started thinking Carolina, then I flipped myself over to thinking Arizona a little bit. And Rams, Giants, we can't take the Giants because they're just crushing us. And then the Rams, it's like you still have that hesitation on trusting them to win a game by 2 touchdowns. So, yeah. And that's it. That covers everything.
All right. Well, that's going to do it. Go to wageralarm.com later on tonight. You'll see the ticket posted there, as we always do. Wishing you guys all nothing but the best of luck in all your picks as well. Big thanks to John and Pemba for producing tonight. For Craig Mish, I'm Howard Bender. This has been the Wager Alarm live stream. We'll catch you next time.